Hey Libra, happy February. For you guys, I picked my Tatiana's Fortune cards. It's one of the coolest little Lenormand decks that I have. It has this really neat, it's really plain imagery, but it's really bright, it's really vibrant. And I found sometimes with this deck that even the colors matter. You'll see sort of a rainbow going on in the spread. So what I'm going to do is just throw down some cards to give you some advice for the month, maybe just how to have the most beneficial month, or the path to consider taking, or maybe even it's even just like a focus point for you for the month. When I do these, I don't like to focus in on things that are overly predictive, because when it goes out to a group of people, I don't believe stuff like that is really accurate. But let's see what we have coming out here for you. And I'm just going to start by pulling sort of a central theme. Oh, I guess this one's falling out. So what's coming out here in the middle for you guys is the ring. The ring is a card of commitments. So sometimes it has to do with cycles too, as you can see it going around, but it's usually revolved around the commitments that you have in your life and things that you have going on. And when it's next to the new road and the heart, this basically is all about making a commitment to yourself to maybe consider a new path, something that you love doing, something that you feel in your heart. That's how all three of these would normally be read together. And then what we have up here, up at the top, is the snake. The snake sometimes is, well, sometimes in relationship readings, it usually points to maybe a third party, but a lot of times it's deceitful thoughts or things that are slithering around you, things that are creating sort of deceptive thoughts in your mind, or maybe times when you're beating yourself up a little bit and you don't need to. And you can see that you might be a little bit confused about what commitments to take or what new road to get on that you really truly love. And that's kind of throwing you up here in the clouds. The clouds in Lenormand have a lot to do with confusion and uncertainty and things just not going in. You're just basically in a haze is the easiest way to put it. Not 100% sure what the next step is, not really certain where to go. So let's lay down some more here. And it looks like this cycle may have been going on for some of you for quite some time. But the first thing I like to look at up here is the top. We have the storks, the snake, and the whip. Now this is a desire with the storks here to move forward in a positive direction, to jump on this new road. But it looks like if you consider this being like your higher self, you might be beating yourself up over it a little bit and continually going through this cycle where this is what you want. You know you want to try something a little bit different. You want to see how it's going to work out. You want to see if it's beneficial for you. But you might keep going through this deceptive cycle where you think you can't necessarily do it. And in some instances, what that's manifesting is making you maybe want to run backwards here. You want to be able to get on that new road, but you're not exactly sure how to do it. And it's throwing you up in the clouds. And with the owls here, the owl sometimes is education, sometimes it's communication. But this whole road together is just basically you sort of talking yourself out of it. But the beneficial part of it is the fact that you make it out of the clouds. When we look at the beginning over here, we have the desire for this positive new road. And maybe you have communication coming into you that's going to help you get on that, or maybe it's an offer or an opportunity that you've been thinking about doing. So basically, if you look at this a certain way, he's not necessarily running backwards. It looks like he's ready to go jump on this road. That's the way I see it anyway. But then you ultimately end over here with the whip, the heart, and the owls. This is a lot of communication. This is some of these deceitful thoughts jumping in or insecurities popping up, leading you to think that this isn't something that you're able to do. And you might actually feel a little bit beat up over it as the time moves on, but ultimately you get to the place where you have a commitment that's in your heart, that feels good, that's positive, and then you're riding over here on this new road. So basically a lot of the messages that come through with this, and I'll share some more here, has a lot to do with taking new chances. If there's something that you want to try it. See how it works out for you. See if it offers you benefits. See if you feel love for what you're doing. And then just keep going. Talk out the things that are scaring you. Move through those insecurities. Don't let this cycle keep continuing, because you'll find a way to move out of it. And if we look at the diagonals, a lot of the same stuff is mentioned here. We have the rider, the ring, and the whip. That's just that desire for this guy here to jump over on this new road. But that's the desire is what kind of keeps going in a loop here, because the snake keeps causing problems. And then we also have the storks, the ring, and the owls. That's making that positive commitment. And you've got to keep talking to yourself. You've got to make sure that you're communicating with yourself in a really, really positive manner. Because over here with the whip and the owl, sometimes that can imply that maybe you're sharing more about the things that stress you out in comparison to focusing on this beautiful storks and this ring together along with it, which would be a lot more of a positive mindset. I know everybody out there says, oh, have a positive mindset, be happy about everything, you know, set all fear aside, set insecurity aside. Well, that's not an overnight thing. I mean, I know it certainly hasn't been for me, and I don't think it is for anyone. But think this month, if there's insecurities that are popping up, work yourself through them, find a way out of it. Like I said, you might feel a little bit beat up with the snake, the whip, and the heart. You could feel a little bit uncertain as to how to get on this new road. But the more that you push yourself forward and the more that you drive forward, the quicker you're going to be able to get to a place where you're feeling really, really happy with what you're doing. And you know, it's also okay to try multiple things here too, because I mean, this may only show one road that he's jumping on, but maybe you make it halfway down this road and you decide, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm going to go try a different road. Then I'm going to go try this next one. I'm going to keep going through these cycles of roads until I find the one that leads me to a place where my heart feels really happy. And I think that's what you should consider for the month, especially if you've been considering something new. Because when you see the clouds, the owls, and the heart here, that's moving away from the clouds. It's basically flying out of them. And then you get yourself in a place where you're really, really happy with this new commitment that you have. A couple other notables on this one here, which just kind of sort of tell the same story, is the road, the rider, and the clouds. That just indicates, again, not necessarily sure which road to jump on right away. Just keep trying all of them, see whatever works out. And then you have the road, the storks, and the snake, which again means you could be talking yourself out of things a little bit. You could make it onto this road a little bit, make a little bit of headway, but then sometimes these intrusive thoughts will come in and lead you to believe that this isn't something that you're supposed to do. I say keep trying, keep doing everything that makes the most sense to you, push through the difficult cycles, try to set some of the insecurities aside, and know that it's okay to try everything that you feel in your heart this month. Because I ultimately think when you just look at this base row right here, you'll make it out of the clouds, you'll be able to move past these thoughts, and you'll be able to make a commitment to a new road that you really, really feel good about, and it'll get you to a place where you feel much happier.